Spud Kings on the ice, ready to invade. The Grim Reaper breaks free, impossible to tame. The wall defends, shutting down the game. Edwards and Schmidt, a true tag team. Breaking through the lines, they play supreme. The Spud Kingdom rises, loyal and proud. Idaho Falls rocking, we're bringing the crowd. Spud Kings, we own this night. The kingdom roars like fire, we ignite. Coming for the cup, we bring the fight. Spud Kingdom, we rise, unite.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Spud Kingdom podcast. I'm your host, as always, Woody. Now, this week, it's like the same lineup as every week as of right now until I can start getting some interviews and stuff back in there. Then it'll mix up a little bit. But we got the trivia coming, got the weekend recap, 3 stars of the week, and we got our standings, and then we got next week's preview. Starting with tonight's game. So, let's get it rolling. We got trivia for you. I'll give you the question right now, like always, and then I'll give you the answer at the end of the program. Who led the NHL in penalty minutes last season? So give yourself a minute to think about that. Look it up if you have to. It's always nice to take a shot and see if you can get it before I give you the answer. I'll give you the answer at the end. So let's get things rolling, shall we? This week, Game 1 recap. First game of the weekend took place on Friday, October 10th, 2025 at the River City Sportplex in Grand Junction, Colorado versus the Riverhawks. First off, I just want to curse Black Bear TV for this horrible broadcast all weekend long. Couldn't even watch the games. I know Jason was having a problem. I know I saw a few of you commenting, wanting to know what the updates are because the stream wasn't working for you either. It's very frustrating. I know Black Bear, it looks like they have a better programming setup than Flow Hockey, but I'm starting to think this was a bad deal. Anyway, curse to you, Black Bear, for this last weekend. I noticed all the other games were working just fine, but ours was not working. So anyway, luckily for us, the Spud Kings Facebook page was able to keep us up to date pretty well for the most part. Luckily, the first couple periods, there wasn't much going on, but they did keep us up to date, and we appreciate you for that. So thank you, Spud Kings on Facebook webpage. We appreciate that. The first period, not much action in the game. Well, couldn't tell you because it wasn't really working, but lots of shots. So it must have been a good goalie battle is what I would assume. Grand Junction had 10 shots on goal and the Spud Kings had 13. So that is a lot of shots coming at the goalies with no success because no goals in this period. So both of them just must have been shutting it down. I didn't really get to see it, so I couldn't really tell you what happened, but seems like a very good goalie battle so far. Second period, much of the same as the first, except for Grand Junction just straight dominated the shot battle in this one. Grand Junction had 17 shots on goal, and the Spud Kings had 12. Big shot numbers once again, but the goalies just weren't letting anything by. Devin Degenstein was proving why he wears that number now that is considered sacred among Spud Kings goalies and amongst us in the Spud Kingdom. So the period would end 0-0 all tied. Third period, this is where it would heat up a little bit. Grand Junction had 11 shots on goal, and the Spud Kings would dominate the shots of this period and have 17 of their own. Spud Kings would finally get one past Simon Zile at 5 minutes, 10 seconds. Owen Byer would get his second on the season, and he was assisted by Charlie Grant for his fourth and Will Strickland for his second. 9 minutes would go by before the next goal would come, and about 14 minutes, 9 seconds, Ty Contract scores one for the Riverhawks, knotting it all up. A little over 2 minutes later, Sammy Killian Kelly would score for the Riverhawks. His stress level was starting to sense in since I couldn't watch it and I had to wait for the Facebook updates. But luckily for us, a minute and a half later, we would finally get an update. Finally, I say, because it was such a long wait, minute and a half. But at 17 minutes, 57 seconds, DJ the Beast Macleish gets his 4th on the year, and he was assisted on the play by Leo the Mantenuto for his 4th, and the Grim Reaper, Sammy Grimaldi, for his 4th as well. Period would end 2-2. We would have overtime. So in overtime, Grand Junction, we had 2 shots on goal. Spud Kings would have 6. No goals were scored in overtime. We would go to a shootout. So I was able to see the shootout. I went and looked at some of the footage this morning. That was on there. But the camera did not move during the shootout. So I only knew who was taking the shots, and I only know what happened by the sound of the announcers and the sound of the stadium. You want to call it that. The sound of your little ice rink arena place, the Sportplex. So Grimaldi would get a chance to go first, and he would be stoned away by Zyle. Kelly and Kelly would be up for the Riverhawks, and Dagenstein would say, "No, sir." Leo the Mantenuto would go next for the Spud Kings, and I can't see how he scored because, like I said, the footage was horrible and it stayed stagnant. But I know he put that one in for the Spud Kings, so Leo got us one there. So after the first round, 0-0, started the second round, we're up 1. And then Boucher would be up next for the Riverhawks, and he was able to get one past Dagenstein to even the shootout up at 1. So third skater would be up for the Spud Kings would be DJ the Beast Macleish. And he would nail the shot. 2-1 Spud Kings at this point. So it'd be up to Pohala. I remember them saying that on the broadcast from the Riverhawks. It's Pohala. But he would be up for the Riverhawks, and he would either need to score to keep things going, or if he missed, game over, we win. So what would happen is he would take the puck and he would take it down. Don't know what happened after that, but I know for a fact he was stoned away by Devin Dagenstein, and the Spud Kings won the shootout and the game. 3-2 final score. Spud Kings win. Oh, man, I wish I could have seen it because it sounds like it would have been amazing to see. Even, like I said, if you go back and watch the footage now, because they did upload positive footage, but during the shootout, the camera never moved. It just stayed at center ice. So you don't get to see what happens. The Dagenstein would stop 38 out of 40 shots for a save percentage of 95, only giving up the 2 goals and 1 in the shootout. That one doesn't affect the overall stats, so I didn't put it on there. So, yeah, Dagenstein living up to that number 1. He's trying to do us proud, so we'll see how he does the rest of the season. So far, he's doing pretty good, I would say. Game 2, Saturday, October 11th, 2025 at the River City Sportplex, once again in Grand Junction, Colorado versus the Riverhawks. Once again, not able to watch this game due to technical difficulties due to Black Bear TV. Anyhoozle, from what all the stats, I will read you what I got, and I will tell you to run down just like I did on the last one. First period, from what I could tell, was all Grand Junction. Grand Junction had 13 shots on goal, and the Spud Kings only had 7. The only goal of the period would come a little over halfway through at 10 minutes, 17 seconds. The Riverhawks' Ivan Janik would score 1 and put them up 1-0. Period would end this way with the Riverhawks in the lead 1-0. So second period, the Spud Kings would even up things more in this period in the shots on goal and in the goals category. Grand Junction had 12 shots on goal, and the Spud Kings also had 12, so there's the even part there. The only goal in the period would come later in the period as the Grim Reaper, Sammy Grimaldi, would capitalize on the power play and get his 3rd goal on the season, and he was assisted on the play by Leo the Mantenuto for his 5th, and Owen Byer for his 2nd. This period would end all even at 1. Third period, this third period would be a Riverhawk period, is what I would say. They would pretty much dominate the whole thing, including the shots on goal, including the scoring side of things in general. So, The Grand Junction Riverhawks had 12 shots on goal. The Spud Kings only had 6. And it wouldn't take long for the Riverhawks to score because at 2 minutes and 3 seconds, Gavin Mears would score at almost 4 minutes later, at 5 minutes 54 seconds, Gergel Schwartz would chip in one. He would chip in on the action. I didn't really go back and watch these games because I don't know, kind of mad about the broadcast for one, and two, man, it's kind of hard to go back and watch something you lose. So I don't really know how these guys scored, but they were just starting to dominate at this point. But at 9 minutes 42 seconds, the Spud Kings would finally get another and try to make it a game. William Strickland would get his first on the year, big power play goal, and he was assisted by Bookie Warshaw for his first and Lucas Ronner for his second. And then at 16 minutes 7 seconds, the Riverhawks Ronnie Alanko would put the nail in the coffin. Period would end and game would end. 4-2 Riverhawks win. Losing goalie on the Spud King side of thing was Ty Levy. He stopped 33 out of 37 shots, and he had an 89.2% save percentage. And then this was his first start of the season. I was unaware that we had 3 goalies on the roster to begin with, and I just noticed. So footage was working great during warm-ups, was able to see players out there. I was like, yes, this game is going to work. And about 2 or 3 minutes into the game, it just quit working. So at the beginning of the game, I noticed that we did have a different goalie in net as our net minder. And so I had to do some research, and it looks like we do have 3 goalies on the roster. Ty Levy was the one that stepped up and played in this game on Saturday. Unfortunately, it didn't go his way. The Riverhawks, for a new expansion team, are really good, guys. These guys are something to deal with. We'll get to it here in just a minute, but they're right up there in the top of the rankings. So with that, let's go to my 3 stars of the week. My 3rd star, Leo the Man Tenuto. He had 2 assists, and he had the 1 goal in the shootout. So that overpropelled him over Owen Byer, who had 1 goal and 1 assist on the week. I gave it to Leo because he had the 2 assists, which were big, and then he had the shootout goal to keep us going there to set it up for DJ to win. So Leo the Mantenuto is my 3rd star of the week. 2nd star, Sammy the Grim Reaper Grimaldi. 1 goal and 1 assist on the weekend. He was a big contributor in helping us win the first game. He was a big contributor in trying to keep us in the second game. He's wearing that captain's patch with pride. I'm really loving Grimaldi this year. He's my 2nd star of the week. 1st star, DJ the Beast Macleish. He technically only had the 1 goal on the weekend, but the reason why he's my 1st star is because he got the shootout goal in game 1 and won us the game for that game. The shootout goal doesn't go towards their overall stats once again, so it doesn't really count for, like, he didn't have 2 goals on the weekend. Unfortunately, he had 1 goal and then he had a shootout goal. So I gave him the 1st star because he did get the goal in the first game, and then he got the shootout goal to win the first game. So not only did he keep us in the first game and take us into overtime, but he won it in the shootout. So DJ the Beast Macleish is my 1st star. Once again, 3rd star, Leo the Mantenuto. 2nd star, the Grim Reaper, Sammy Grimaldi. And the 1st star, DJ the Beast Macleish. 1 goal and 1 shootout goal. Standings, overall standings. So we'll go over how our fellas are doing as far as points, goals, assists, and whatnot. I'm going to wait for the goalie situation to kind of even itself out before we start doing who's good at overall stats and goalies, because right now I think it's 2 games for each guy, and then Levy's got 1 as well. So with that, our points leader is DJ the Beast Macleish with 8 points. Schmidt and Grimaldi are tied in 2nd with 7. And then our assist leader is Andrew Schmidt and Leo Mantenuto are both tied in 1st with 5. And there's 3 people tied in 2nd with four each. Yeah. Then our goals leader, DJ the Beast Macleish with 4. And then we have the 2 shootout goals that don't count. And then Sammy Grimaldi is second with 3. And then the overall standings for the Mountain Division as it sits right now before tonight's game. The Ogden Mustangs are still first with an 8-1 record, with that one loss being into overtime. So they have 17 total points. Second, the team that we just played this last weekend, the Grand Junction Riverhawks. They're 5-6 on the season, but 2 of those losses by way of overtime. So they have 12 points on the season. Third place, the Pueblo Bulls. They have a 5-2 record with 1 loss in overtime, so they have 11 total points. And then fourth place, still our beloved Spud Kings with a 5-2 record and only has 10 points right now. We've only played 7 games. We're a little bit behind some of these other teams, but the games that we played, we've won the majority of them. So 10 points would be really good if Ogden hadn't played 9 games and Grand Junction hadn't played 11 by now. You know, that would actually be a really good point total. Who knows where we'd be standing. So right now, Ogden's first, Grand Junction second, Pueblo is third, and our beloved Spud Kings are bringing it up in 4th place at the moment. Before we get to the week preview, we're going to get to the trivia answer. So for those of you, let's remind, who led the NHL in penalty minutes last season? And the answer is Nikita Zadorov. He had 145 total minutes in the penalty box. He was a sin bin, frequent flyer miles type of guy. So pat yourself on the back if you got that one right. And if you didn't, now you know, and it's a little useless knowledge, or maybe, hey, you can use it at the bar or at the game next time. You're like, you know who led the NHL in penalty minutes last year? Man, Nikita did. Zadorov, 145 of them. Crazy, right? So with that, let's get to the week preview. So this week's a little bit different than most hockey weeks. It is starting tonight, Wednesday night, October 15th. So the game was supposed to be Friday in Utah, but they had some scheduling problems with their building. So they moved the game to the Mountain America Center. So technically this is a home game for the Utah Outliers, but it is at our facility at the Mountain America Center. And it's going to be at 7 o'clock tonight. There's still tickets available. Last time I checked, just a few minutes before I started recording, there was tickets still available. And then game 2 is tomorrow, October 16th. It's a Thursday night at the MAC versus the Rock Springs Miners. This game is the first teddy bear toss of the season, and they're also doing a team poster giveaway. So get there early to get in line for those. Actually, last time I think they did it at the end of the game. That way you guys didn't have to worry about carrying them all throughout the game. So when you're leaving the game, be prepared to get your posters. So don't leave without them. Both games start at 7 p.m. Well, 7:05 puck drop, but we all know that's really about 7:15 and everything after a national anthem and everything else goes through. We know it usually is a little bit later. 7 o'clock. Be there. Be square. If you can't, watch on Black Bear. I'm sure tonight's broadcast will be better. I'm thinking a lot of that had to do with the internet service down in Rock Spring, or where were they? Grand Junction. So I'm sure a lot of that had to do with that. Get out there, support our boys. If you can't, pull it up, watch it on TV. Let's watch these boys get some action going. And as always, go Spud Kings.
Crumble as the anthem plays. The beast off the leash, setting the stage ablaze. Edwards with the setup, Schmidt with the strikes, Spud Kings